lucky charm. I hold you close in the night in my arms. And when we open our eyes, my worries fade away. 'Cause you gave me your heart in the light of day, in the light of day. And when we open our eyes, my worries fade away. 'Cause you gave me your heart in the light of day, in the light of day. You are my lucky charm. I hold you close in the night in my arms. And when we open our eyes, my worries fade away. 'Cause you gave me your heart in the light of day, in the light of day.
Maybe you were up, maybe you were not. I do not know. Camera 2 is not on. Maybe it is. I don't know. Alright, let's move all this over so I can figure out what's going on. It's Thursday night. It's after 9. I'm running late because I didn't pay attention to the time. What a shock. Probably because I was reading some stuff and whatnot. Let me pull up some of my madness that I have here today. Yes, madness. And all my stuff is different. So Bing and Safari all have different things on them tonight. So let's hope that I can navigate, or actually I lie, Google. Whoops, my bad. There we go. Alright, I do not see Diane. Diane hasn't said nothing. She's not called me the last couple of weeks. I'm like really sad. My one caller that I have. I thought this would go bigger. I guess I was wrong. I thought wrong like mama. Okay, so this weekend we have History in the Making. We have what is up with this? Peyton. Peyton. I don't think something's hooked up. I don't think something's right tonight. I could be wrong. I could be right. Probably wrong. Oh no, where'd it go? I think we're rolling. I just lost my other thing. Where did it go? Was that it? Nope. Not it? Nope. Oh no, I lost my chat. No! Oh, there it is. Alright. Alright, anyway, back to what I was talking about. We have history in the making this weekend. We have the coronation of King Charles III. There's quite a bit of different conflicting information between, depending on what you look at, but Historic UK has a little bit different history on the coronation versus Westminster Abbey history, which is where the coronation takes place, and it has since, who knows, the beginning of time. Anyway, I don't think this is a video, and if it is, I'm gonna cry. Oh, it is. So Westminster Abbey in London has been site of the coronation since 1066. So William the Conqueror was first king to be coronated there. But the first place to ever have a coronation didn't happen at Westminster. It happened in Bath Abbey, where St. Duncan, the Archbishop of Canterbury, crowned King Edgar. And Edgar was known as Edgar the Peaceful, and he ruled from October of 959 until he died in 975. He created years of stability and development, which would become the foundation for the kingship for what we have today. Examples set by Edgar extended to the coronation ceremony created by his close personal advisor, Sir Dunstan. along with his wife. There were festivities, included sub-kings of the British Isles pledging their allegiance to the king. So different, I guess, like regions or whatever, all pledged their alliance to him. There was a poem written in 973 that would provide inspiration. An event that took place in 973 provided inspiration for a poem in the Anglo-Saxon Chronicles. So, and it would inspire later coronations, ceremonies for substantial kings and queens of England. Edward the Confessor came to the throne. He commissioned the construction of Westminster on a site for a church for the Benedictine monks. So, like 1,000 years ago. So this is 39 English and British monarchs to be coronated for the coronation. There have been 39 English and British monarchs that have taken place at Westminster. Whether or not intended by Edward the Confessor, the building itself has become an integrated part of the entire coronation tradition for the British Isles. So, I have all kind of craziness going on here tonight. I have upgraded again. So now I have 2 monitors, 1 computer, and now I have a MacBook. So I have all kinds of madness going on in front of me now. Just goes to prove that I can halfway pay attention to, or it works good for my, what is it? ADHD brain. So anyway, back to where I was. The first documented coronation took place at Westminster Abbey. It was for the new Norman king, William the Conqueror, on, of all days, December 25th in the year 1066. William was crowned following his victory at the Battle of Hastings, which was not actually fought in Hastings. So that's where he landed. That's where he set up camp, but it was fought further north. So just so you know, I believe it's in a place called Battle, but I'm not sure. I would have to look at it again. But it was not actually fought in Hastings. It was further north of Hastings. Only 12 months earlier, King Harold II, the last Anglo-Saxon king of England, had been crowned, most likely also at Westminster. They're not sure. The Abbey played host to tradition of kingship between dynasties, witnessing the changing annals of history as Anglo-Saxon dominance came into an end, and the new Norman, which what we're into now is the Norman era, because beforehand it wasn't. William the Conqueror's coronation ceremony at Westminster, the status site for all subsequential, say that 10 times fast, coronation ceremonies. Henry III in 1245 realized the importance of the architecture and design of such a religious site. So the church was rebuilt in Gothic style, so pretty much like it is today, creating the high altar and imposing designs, which we are familiar with today. So the church did change. If you have never been to London, this church is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. There are many beautiful churches in England. Doncaster has a beautiful church there. Stained glass, fabulous. York is very historical, has very beautiful cathedral there. So there are some very, very beautiful churches and whatnot. Lincoln has one. They're just beautiful. I think the one at Lincoln has dragons and whatnot on it. The newly designed setting was now the only place for religious devotion and worship, but also a theater in which to display the power of kingship in the heart of Westminster. So in 1274, King Edward I would become the first monarch to be crowned in the newly designed space. So in the middle of the church, there's like a huge place where all this fun stuff takes part. There's a coronation chair. There's a stone that just flew down. They just brought it in from Scotland, so it's housed in a different place. The chair is a Gothic style. It was carved from oak rather than the original conception of bronze. It was also gilded with colored glass mosaic. However, it got broken, so of course, you know. Another important aspect of the chair was the inclusion of the stone of sconce, sometimes known as the Stone of Destiny, which Edward I had taken from Scone Abbey. The stone has particular significance as for centuries successive Scottish kings had been crowned upon it. So they sit on that stone, but it's now got like a ledge between the butt of the newly crowned monarch and the stone. So there's like a platform of stone and then what they sit on now. So they don't actually sit on the stone now. Up until the 17th century, the monarchs would sit on the stone until a wooden section was added to the chair to house the stone. So they don't actually sit on the stone anymore. Whatever. Other changes occurred in 1689 when King William III and Mary became joint monarchs, thus necessitating a second chair to be made for Mary to sit on, whilst William remained in the original chair. By the 19th century, 4 gilded lions formed the chair legs, were replaced by George IV in 1821. So, like, the chair used to sit on lions, because after all, the lion is on the flag of England. Another significant feature of the ceremony is the royal book, also known as the Liber. I'm going to get beat up by my family for this. Realist, which dates back to the original illuminated manuscript from 1382. The book is still a key historical document containing details for the order of the service and provides illustration carefully representing the event. So there is a flow for how this coronation is going to take place. Some of our parents, this will be their second one, had they been alive in 1952, I believe, when the Queen was crowned. So, yeah, my mom, this is her second. The first stage of the ceremony is known as the recognition and the oath, whereby the sovereign enters the abbey in velvet robes of state and takes their place at the chair of estate. Following the entrance, the archbishop will call recognition for the sovereign of both sides, which follows the archbishop's administering the oath of the monarch. The next portion of the ceremony is holy songs begin the anointing ceremony. The prayer is made whilst the sovereign makes their way to the coronation chair. Once in place, a gold canopy is placed over their head as part of this part remains unseen by the public. So they're going to go to commercial when they actually do that. Once anointed with the sacred oil is complete, investing takes place, whereby the sovereign receives the royal regale, including the orb, which is full of symbolism, the precious jewels encrusted with stone, and the crown with a cross showing Jesus as a leader of the world. Oh, there you go. Even they knew. A ring is presented at the end, which denotes the marriage and the union to the country as they are about to serve. So Prince Charles has waited 73 years for this job. A lot of people say they wish that he would have abdicated and place of William, but nah, he's waited 73 years. He's been in, damn it, that stupid smoke detector is still going off. Once the ring is given, I lost my place because of that dumb thing. Once that part is complete, the crowning can take place with the monarch sitting in the coronation chair. The crown is placed on the head by the Archbishop of Canterbury. Chants echo around the abbey 3 times, saying, "God save the king or queen." Following this, prayer is recited and the benediction, after which the newly crowned monarch moves to the coronation chair to be seated on the throne to recite the statement, "Stand firm and hold fast from now on." I did not know that. Now I know. Having now completed the acts of swearing loyalty, after the acts of swearing loyalty are complete, display of homage to the monarch. Once the new king or queen enters the chapel where a Thanksgiving hymn is sung before the monarch will then wear purple imperial robes, the imperial state crown carrying the scepter, leaving the chapel to the sounds of the national anthem. This is definitely a display of tradition, a religious symbolism, ceremony, and honor has been more or less the mainstay of the coronation for centuries, like 1,000 years. So it's a long time. British monarchs have taken part in the ceremony as an act of devoting their power, religious devotion, and service to the country, with only 2 exceptions. The young Edward V, who never lived to see his coronation, the son of Edward IV and Queen Elizabeth Woodville, who him and his younger brother Richard were put in the Tower of London, never to be seen again. And then Richard III decided that he was going to be king. Whether or not those 2 young kids were killed, murdered, whatever happened to them, one never knows. But one thing, King Charles has said that bones that were discovered a few hundred years ago, they're going to do DNA testing to see if they could possibly be the remains of Edward V. Edward VIII abdicated after 11 months before his coronation because he is the uncle of the former queen who passed away in September, but he wanted to marry Wallis Simpson, who was a divorcee American, and that was a no-no. So that's when her father became king, and then when he passed away, she became queen. Throughout the centuries, ceremonies have varied in grandeur and religious observance. For example, King William IV was so unwilling to provide the adequate funds for such an event that it became known as the penny coronation. Cheapskate. Meanwhile, other ceremonies have taken place under a degree of underlying hostility. For example, when George IV refused to allow his estranged wife, Caroline, to enter the abbey. Well then. On other occasions, such as the crowning of King George III, a meal was eaten as the sermon took place. Wow. Showing a great emphasis on lavish indulgence rather than the religious devotion that it's supposed to be. All this changed, however, with the advent of Queen Victoria's reign, which re emphasized the formality of religious observance. So she kind of swung it back. In the 21st century, the nation said their goodbyes to the longest reigning monarch. So Queen Elizabeth II, whose coronation was June 2nd, 1953, was the first to be televised and witnessed around the world by 20 million people. And her husband, Philip, actually pushed for that. So kudos to him. The spectacle was now accessible to millions of people, not only in attendance, making the pomp and ceremony even more impactful as it reached audiences around the world. Today, Britain remains the only nation to preserve these medieval coronation traditions to celebrate the advent of a new monarch. It's pretty cool that after 1,000+ years, we are still doing a coronation ceremony for the king or the queen. Whilst modern coronations include other elements such as the procession leading to an appearance on the balcony at Buckingham Palace, many other aspects of the ceremony itself remain unchanged from the medieval period, which is pretty cool because I kind of like medieval history. I think it plays a big part in the world, and it's kind of left out of a lot of things. A lot of good things came out of the medieval period, so it kind of needs to be revisited a little bit. Britain has seen many kings and queens come and go through the centuries, spanning times of turbulence, stability, prosperity, development, technology advances, wartime, and peacetime. Elizabeth I, it was a lot of things happened then, the Spanish Armada, this, that, and the other. So, and this all comes at a time when right now Britain is outpacing America to be a superpower. So, right now, Britain is the world superpower. I don't know how that happened, but it did. The history of the monarch and its enduring legacy is one of continuance, a place in British society that remains unchanged but not unchallenged. A lot of people want the royal family to disappear. King Charles has said that he's going to slim down the royal family, so I think that'll help with the way people look at it. The coronation ceremony and its history represents a trajectory of British tradition, power, religion, society, and cultural that will continue to bear reverence when whatever century it is performed in, for it signifies something far greater than a lifetime of one monarch, one era, or one person. It illustrates the enduring tradition and heritage of a nation which continues to grow and develop throughout the ages, which I totally agree with. I think by keeping traditions alive such as that your country was founded upon is actually really, really cool. And I believe that tomorrow, or the May 6th, King Charles, that will be his new birthday, even though he already has a birthday. Let's see if they have other things on here. Arranging and planning for the coronation are made by the Earl Marshal and his coronation committee on behalf of the Queen and not by the Abbey. But the Dean of Westminster instructs the sovereign on all matters connected to the service and assists the Archbishop of Canterbury, who always crowns the monarch. So there's a lot of planning that goes into this. Since the late 14th century, every coronation ceremony has basically followed the same order of service laid out in the Abbey. Queen Elizabeth I was a mixture of Latin and English, but that of James I in 1603 was nothing but English. James I was actually Mary Queen of Scots' son, so he there was no heir, and he was I guess, the highest ranking relation that she had. So he became King James the First. Let's see what else we got, because this is according to what I'm reading now is Westminster Abbey, the history. The procession takes place from the Jerusalem chamber, which is what the chamber in the Abbey, to the high altar. This talks about the entry into the church. The anthem, I was glad when they said unto me, we will go into the house of the Lord. It's sung by the mass choir as the monarch enters the west door. So the boys of Westminster School, they're there. Recognition, the sovereign stood beside the coronation chair and was shown the people on all sides of the theater. So I guess they stand there and look upon the crowd. The Archbishop asked 3 questions of the monarch, and the oath was taken. At the altar, the sovereign touches the Holy Bible, saying, the things which I have here before promised, I will perform and keep, so help me God. So kind of like the oath the president takes. The anointing, they're sitting in the coronation chair. The monarch was anointed with oil. A canopy is held over the sovereign to shield this part of the ceremony from the congregation, as this and not the crowning is the most sacred part of the service. Because the monarch believes that it is God who anoints them and who chooses them. There's music, but I think it's different. They sing the national anthem. That was done in the coronation in 1953. So, Camilla will be crowned queen consort. She will have no, she won't be able to do, she's only like a figurehead, like Prince Philip was, a figurehead. He did a lot. I'm sure she's going to do a lot. But that will take place on Saturday morning. It'll be all over the TV starting at probably 5 o'clock in the morning. So I'll be able to watch it, listen to it on my way home from work on Saturday morning. I'm trying to see. A bat, a cat, and a sandwich under the hat have had a role in coronations. I'm going to guess at one time there was a bat flying around. Wait a minute. Elizabeth II in the coronation chair cat. So apparently there was a cat there. June 2nd. William the Conqueror in a riot. So there was a riot. He was proclaimed king in both England in English and French, but the Norman soldiers outside the abbey mistook the noise for an assassination attempt, leading to riots and houses being set on fire. That doesn't surprise me. They were a rowdy bunch. William II and friends of the family. William II followed in the footsteps of his father, William the Conqueror, was crowned in the Abbey in 1087. There was no surviving account of who attended, but the Anglo-Saxon chronicles records that a close ally of the king's father performed the ceremony. Henry I in the hunting accident. Ooh. Henry I and his brother William II, when he was killed while hunting in the New Forest in 1100, kept to secure the succession over his older brother. Now, see, there's some stuff because some people have said that Henry killed his brother, but keen to secure the succession over his older brother, Robert, Henry immediately set out for London and was crowned in the Abbey by the Bishop of London. So Henry was an ass and really wanted to be king. So again, I've heard, read, or saw a story where Henry the First may have killed his brother when they were out hunting in the woods, and then, like this just said, rushed off to London to be crowned. Stephen and the Good Laws. King Stephen was the nephew of Henry the First, because I don't think he had any children. At his coronation on the 26th of December, St. Stephen's Day, by the way, he promised to all Englishmen all the liberties and good laws that they had enjoyed under his predecessor. So he said he was going to keep things the way they were. Henry II and the early heirs. Henry II was crowned in the Abbey alongside his Queen Eleanor of Aquitaine on the 19th of, a lot of Decembers. 19th in 1154, his son Henry the Younger had a coronation date in June 1170, an attempt to settle the succession during his father's lifetime. But young Henry died before his father, so yeah, not good. Richard I and the Bad Omens. Ooh. Bad omens are said to have belittled the coronation of Richard I on the 3rd of September 1189, the first of which derailed accounts survives. The omen includes a bat fluttering around the king's head and the abbey bells ringing mysteriously without warning. Interesting. Never heard that one. King John shows lack of respect. When King John was crowned in the abbey in 1199 May, he was said to have displayed unseemingly Wait, what? And he left before receiving the sacraments. His wife Isabel of Gloucester wasn't crowned with him, and the marriage was later annulled. Oh, well, hey. He was weird. King Henry III's two coronations, so he had two. Henry was crowned in the Abbey in May of 1220. It was in fact his second coronation. Politically, uncertainties meant a ceremony to secure his succession was hastily arranged at Gloucester Abbey, with the full ceremonial coronation following here. Oh wow, it was 3 years in between. What the hell? Edward was first and a 2-year wait, so he waited 2 years after he was crowned or became king. Edward I was in no hurry to hold his coronation. He was on his way home from the Crusades in 1272 when he heard he had become king upon the death of his father, but he and his queen Eleanor of Castile weren't crowned in the Abbey until August of 1274. So I guess running around doing whatever he was doing, crusading. Edward II's coronation was in February of 1308, was marred by crowds. Oh. And a knight, Sir John Bakewell, were crushed to death. So crowd surges and they were crushed to death in a lavish feast held in Westminster Hall to celebrate the coronation. And it was attended by French and English nobles. That's interesting. Edward III, a teenage king. After his father Edward III was... Oh, whoa. He was murdered. Edward III was proclaimed Keeper of the Realm in January 1327. He was crowned at the Abbey the following month at just the age of 14. Richard III in the first procession. He was 10 years old when he was crowned in 1377. The day before the service, he was at the Tower of London and once. Oh, okay. So he rode from the Tower of London to Westminster on horseback through crowded streets decorated with banners and tapestries. And the first ever procession. Okay, I got it now. Henry IV and Abbey coronation and death. He was crowned in October of 1399 and was later to die here too. Wow, it had been prophesied that he would die in Jerusalem, but was taken ill while praying in the Abbey in 1413 and died in the room at the Abbey house called the Jerusalem Chamber. Henry V and the Snowy Spring took place in the spring on April 9th in 1413. It reported that snow fell during the day, and they said they took that as hard times to come. Edward IV, one coronation, 2 reigns. Edward IV had one coronation in June 1461, but reigned as king twice because he reigned from 1461 to 1470. He was deposed by Henry VI, but he regained the crown a year later. So that was a mess. Henry VI was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, and his wife, Margaret of Anjou, was a hot mess. Richard III and the mother of the future king. Richard III's coronation took place in July 1483. Was Lady Margaret Beaufort, who carried the train of the Queen's dress. Margaret was the mother of Henry Tudor, who would later defeat Richard at the Battle of Bosworth to become king. So Richard III is the one they say murdered the 2 princes in the Tower. Henry VII was crowned at the Abbey, and he's buried in the Abbey. He was crowned in October of 1485 and married Elizabeth of York the next year. They lie buried together in the Abbey's magnificent Lady Chapel. Henry VIII and his grandmother's ceremony. The coronation of Henry VIII and Catherine of Aragon took place in June of 1509, met with festivities across the country. The service was led by the Archbishop of Canterbury, with the ceremony organized by the king's grandmother, Lady Margaret Beaufort. Edward VI and the Protector. Edward VI was King Henry VIII's only surviving male child. He was 9 years old when he was crowned, but I think he was 15 when he passed away, so he didn't reign very long. Mary I and the new chair. So in 1553, Mary I was crowned. It was attended by Anne of Cleves and the future Queen Elizabeth I. Anne of Cleves, I believe, was one of Henry VIII's wives. Uneasy at the idea of being crowned in the coronation chair used by her Protestant brother, Edward the Sixth. At his coronation, it is thought that a new one was sent to her by the Pope. So, whatever. Elizabeth and the astrologer. She was crowned on the 15th of January, 1559, a date chosen by her astrologer, John Dee. Huge crowds welcomed her procession through the city the day before the service and afterwards. She was greeted with the sounds of drums and bells as she was presented to the people. James the Sixth and the First. So James the Sixth of Scotland was also James the First of England and Scotland. James' coronation, that the ancient coronation chair had always been used for both anointing and crowning from some earlier monarchs, using it for just one part of the ceremony. So he used the original chair. Charles the First and I Was Glad. The coronation of Charles the First in February 1626 was the first at which the I Was Glad was sung. Oh, I'm going to have to look that up. It's been used in different musical settings at the coronation for every monarch since. Gonna have to look that one up. Charles II and the new. He was crowned in 1661. What the hell? Sorry, there's pictures and I'm like, wait, what? James II and the Bad Omens. The coronation of James II in April 1685 is another service said to have been blighted by some bad omens. At one point, the crown appeared to be about to fall off his head. And at the moment of the crowning, the royal stand at the Tower of London was torn by wind. Okay. William and Mary I, the only joint monarchs, were crowned as joint monarchs in April 1689, the first and only time in English history has that happened. William was crowned in the ancient coronation chair, so a new chair had to be specially made for Mary, and this survives in the Abbey collection. Anne the First and a bout of gout. Queen Anne was crowned in April 1702. She was unable to walk into the Abbey for the service as she was suffering from gout. Instead, she was carried into the church by yeomen of the guard on an open chair. George I, the king who couldn't speak English. Great. He was Queen Anne's cousin and came from his home in Hanover, so he was from part of Germany. He was crowned in the Abbey in 1714. The ceremony was conducted mostly in Latin, as the king couldn't speak much English, and the minister didn't speak German. George II and the dress of jewels. George II was crowned with his wife Caroline. In October 1727, the Queen's dress was so encrusted with jewels that a pulley had to be devised to lift the skirt so she could kneel at various points of the ceremony. What the hell? George III was baptized, confirmed, married, and crowned in by the same person, the Archbishop of Canterbury. Thomas Sickle. It's thought to be the only time that's happened. Okay, well, that's interesting. George IV, and I just passed it all up. The band queen consort. It doesn't say. William IV and the half coronation. What the hell? September 1831, known as the half coronation because the ceremony was so scaled back. Oh, wait, because he decided to be a cheapskate. He didn't need a ceremony. There was no unusual coronation banquet, as the king decided it was too expensive. Well, it probably was. Weren't they at war with the United States? Victoria and the wrong finger. Apparently they put the coronation ring on the wrong finger. Edward VII and the postponed coronation. King George V and the procession spectacle. The coronation for King George V and Queen Mary in June 1911. More than 50 grandstands were built for the spectacle along the route for the procession to the Abbey. 6,000 people attended the service itself, which each received a copy of the invitation. Oh, nice. George VI and the hidden sandwich. Okay. The coronation day for George VI in May 1937 was a long one for some. The Abbey staff began work at 4 a.m. and guests started arriving before 6 a.m. Peers were said to have hidden sandwiches in their... So they hid the sandwiches to eat. Wow. That is crazy. They don't have anything about Queen Elizabeth II's coronation. So hers was probably kind of normal. That's that. That's crazy. But those are the differences in the two history things. So one was from historic UK history, and the other one is Westminster Abbey. So they have all kinds of different stuff. And I'm telling you right now, if you ever get a chance to go to England, you know, take a visit to some of these churches. In other news, I see that in the state of New York, any new houses that are being built are being banned from having gas appliances. I would assume furnace and stoves and whatnot. It's all electric now. Yay. So that goes into effect very soon. California is saying that in the next 10 years it will be strictly electric cars. I don't know how they figure this is going to be good for the environment when the electric car, with the mining of the material that they use to make the lithium battery, they emit more emissions than some of the cars that we have today. So we'll see how that all plays out. Apparently Biden is going to run for president again. I guess he announced it last week. I truly believe it is a form of elder abuse. I think his family should say enough is enough, but that's that. His son Hunter apparently doesn't have enough money to pay child support. Ooh, what a surprise. Apparently, you know, it's been reported that he does cocaine, so that could be a problem. Maybe that's why he doesn't have it. No, I'm not drinking anything alcoholic. It is actually an International Delight iced coffee. Not too shabby. I'm not fond of caramel, but it's not too bad. It's coffee. I would have preferred mocha, but they didn't have any, so this is what I got. There was something else. Ooh, I know what it was. I remember now. My favorite topic of all times. All times my favorite topic. Epstein Island. There has been all kinds of madness coming out on Twitter. Now, I've seen and read where Melinda Gates, Bill Gates' wife, has said that they met Epstein on the island and he kind of freaked her out. So she was not a happy camper when they met him. But did that mean that Bill went back without her? Ooh, who knows? Maybe. Gross if he did, but we haven't heard anything out of that yet. New Jeffrey Epstein documents expose sex offenders' close relationship with the world's most powerful. So, like Woody Allen, I had read it and then put it down. He had close interactions with the world's most powerful elites, such as former Israeli Prime Minister, I don't even know, I'm not even going to try to pronounce this guy's name because I'm going to butcher it. Former Treasury Secretary Lawrence Summers and other high-profile financiers, as well as billionaire Bill Gates and filmmaker Woody Allen. This is all according to the Wall Street Journal. Recently unearthed documents shed light on Epstein's scheduled meetings with several high-profile and influential people from 2013 to 2017 after he pled guilty for charges from soliciting and was in jail in 2008. While the majority of people the journal spoke to claimed to have met with Epstein for donations or to make powerful connections, the outlet was unable to verify if all the scheduled meetings took place or what the purpose was amongst the new details. First of all, okay, so Lawrence Summer continued to meet with Epstein and seek help years after Harvard decided it would no longer accept his donation. So I guess they decided that no bueno. Reid Hoffman, a billionaire venture capitalist and LinkedIn co-founder, visited Epstein's private island in the Caribbean and was scheduled to stay at his Manhattan townhouse in 2014. So why are we not hearing about this Reid Hoffman? He went to the island. There were already minors there. So, come on. Woody Allen, the Oscar-winning movie director, attended dozens of dinners with his wife at Epstein's mansion and invited Epstein to film screenings. And let's not forget, Woody Allen's wife was actually his adopted daughter with Mia Farrow, and I believe she was 18 when they got married. So I'm sure there was some bullshit going on before they got married when she was a minor. Leon Black, the billionaire co-founder of private equity giant Apollo Global Management, scheduled more than 100 meetings with Epstein from 2013 to 2017. Okay, where? Hoffman reportedly visited Epstein's Caribbean island, Little St. James, in 2014 and planned to stay in his New York townhouse where he attempted to raise money for Massachusetts Institute of Technology, so MIT, with media lab director Epstein. After Epstein's arrest in 2019, Ito apologized for accepting any of Epstein's money and resigned from his position at MIT Media Lab. Hoffman also apologized for his association with Epstein. Too late. Allen, on the other hand, was scheduled to meet with Epstein nearly every month from 2014 and 2015, and the financier invited him regularly to dinner parties at his home in New York City, where they were neighbors. However, a spokesman for Allen maintained that the filmmaker never had a business meeting with Epstein and that the dinner parties always included other guests. I'm not buying it. Documents also reportedly show that the Prime Minister of Israel flew dozens of times on Epstein's private jet and visited his mansion. Other high-profile individuals mentioned in the documents include I can't say it. Wait, what? Hedge fund millionaire Glenn Dublin and his wife, Norwegian diplomat, all have distanced themselves from Epstein. Apollo Global Management co-founder Black declined to comment on the outlet. So what did he do there? How many times did he go there? And that's according to this Kyle Becker. And I'm wondering if he is, it's beckernews.com. So he says that the fact checkers have no credibility and have been wrong on every major issue in the last 10 years. So somebody in this tweet thread said, I still believe that Jeffrey Epstein is a CIA agent and he had a little black box full of secrets, was thrown away for the reason he might have seen things he wasn't supposed to know, or he sold the secrets. Wait, what? But that's that. Apparently, damn it! Why is it always got to be a video? FBI records allege that then Vice President Joe Biden engaged in criminal bribery scheme with foreign nations. Oh, what a shock! But if you ask him now, he's not going to remember, so it's no bother. Jackson Mahomes, the brother of Kansas City Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes, has been charged with sexual battery. New York has become the first state in the U.S. to pass a law banning natural gas in most buildings. Yeah, that's bad. What else? Apparently, on politics video channel, somebody said they heard Ron DeSantis has been caught on tape saying Republicans should engage in corrupt as hell voting practices. Sadly, I think both parties do, but one's probably better at it than others. I'm trying to find out. Another one that says that Epstein was involved with CIA ties exposed. Here comes the club. So there is a picture on here. We know Jack Smith hasn't gotten to the Trump pedophile charges yet. So people are saying that Trump was there. I'm pretty sure a lot of people were there. I'm pretty sure Bill Clinton was there. I'm pretty sure I read already that he's been there or was there or whatever there. But once again, we all know that Paula's big thing is the Epstein who is there. Let's just go ahead and get it all out in the open and be done with it, because I truly believe that it was more than one damn person. So that's that. That's pretty much all I got this week. I've been a little sidetracked by a couple other side projects that I have going on, but apparently Twisted Sisters Dee Schneider agreed with a tweet that, one of the members of KISS put out about transgender, and they are no longer going to be performing in San Francisco Pride thing that's going on. I think it's in June for Pride. Twisted Sister has been uninvited from that now, so is what it is. We'll see who wins the Kentucky. Let's see if I can pull up Derby News, because I didn't even remember to look at Alexa won't turn off the damn radio, so sadly we're hearing that. Trainer snatches some horses following 2 deaths. I guess there's some craziness going on with the Derby. Oh, Alexa finally shut up. It's amazing. I can get her to turn on and off the lights, but I can't get her to turn off other stuff. Damn, and that thing's going crazy again. Oh, the Earth is spinning faster and faster, and how is it affecting us? I don't know about you guys, but I feel like there's not enough time in the days. June 29, 2020, the shortest day since the 1960s. In 1960, scientists began measuring the planet's rotation with high-precision atomic clock. On June 29, 2022, the Earth racked up an unusual record, its shortest day since then, rotating 1.59 milliseconds less than 24-hour per international Earth rotation. So I don't know what's going on, but maybe that's what my problem is. Why I can't stay focused. 3 days earlier, also shorter than usual. July 26th, near the second newly set record at 1.50 milliseconds shorter than usual. So why is the Earth spinning faster? Scientists are not completely certain, but they have a possible few explanations. Climate change. Some experts believe the melting and refreezing of ice caps could be contributing to the irregular speed. Earthquakes can also make the days shorter. They added, in 2004, earthquakes that unleashed a tsunami in the Indian Ocean shifted enough rocks to shorten the length of the day by nearly 3 milliseconds. The Chandler wobble, also known as the Chandler variation of latitude. The Chandler wobble is a natural shifting of the Earth's axis due to the planet not being a perfect sphere, and could be linked to the spinning increase. 3 scientists wrote in the conversation. Yeah, I mean, I have felt off kilter now for a while. Strong winds and warm oceans. What the fuck? On the other hand, strong wind. Okay, I know what it is. It is the solar winds coming off of the sun. That's the only explanation. You know, it's like a ball when you blow on it, it starts spinning. Anyway, on the other hand, strong winds in El Nino years can slow down the planet's spins, extending the day by a fraction of a millisecond, according to NASA. The name El Nino is described as the warming of the sea surface temperature that occurs every few years. That damn smoke detector. Speed up, slow down. Yeah. So why is the world speeding up? But over long term, the Earth is actually spinning more slowly than it is used to, compared to when dinosaurs walked the planet. What the fuck? How do you know? Were you there? 1.4 billion years ago, a day would be less than 19 hours. How the fuck do they know? Can somebody explain this to me? And don't say fucking science, because that is not it. You weren't there, so don't fucking try it. The moon is mostly to blame for the effect of a gravitational tug slightly distorts the planet. Oh, that's the title. Friction slows the Earth's rotation. Adding seconds on the clock to keep up. No, don't fucking add no more seconds. Well, wait. No? Because will that make my fucking workday longer? No, stop it. Leap seconds are a risky practice. Adding leap seconds can be risky practice that does more harm than good. Yes, leave it the fuck alone. Don't do it. Potential crash of software. Yes, leave shit be. Because if you start fucking with stuff, it's gonna mess stuff up. It's gonna be like 1999 going into 2000. We're gonna have a crash of everything. Our GPS could become useless. Well, in some fucking times it is. Smartphones, computers, and communication systems. Furthermore, there is also the potential of confusing consequences for smartphones, computers, and communication systems. What the fuck? Don't touch it. Leave it alone. What does it mean for us? Earth's rotation if Earth's rotation keeps accelerating, well, first of all, we're going to be dizzy as fuck. It's hard to say. Maybe there will be chaos across the tech industry. Maybe there won't. And we won't even notice as time will be flying by. Okay. I cannot take it anymore with the whole time thing. I'm like whacked out tired already. And I'm wondering, ever since the time change, I have been so freaking crazy. But who knows? Maybe. But I did read, too, somewhere where there was a black hole or something. Wait, what was that? 10 disgusting foods people universally. Didn't we talk about that last week? Blue check nuclear armistice. Verified DEVCON warning system stokes fear on... Oh yeah, apparently Vladimir has enough nukes to kill us all. White House shocker. Kamala Harris was just named the new... Oh, what the fuck was she named? Oh. Let's see. Oh, AIs are great. Appointed to help oversee the responsible development of artificial intelligence amid rapidly growing concern that weekly regulated expansion of the tech could quickly turn to what? And we let her, who fucked up the whole border? Are you fucking kidding me? Oh, it's gonna be bad now, kids. Oh, God. Well, maybe it'll help her get smart. I mean, I'm just saying. Are you kidding me? Oh, somebody's done lost their damn mind. Wait, what? A catastrophic mutating event will strike the world in 2 years. Oh, speaking of that, I saw something about a mutating flu that will kill us all. Their International Space Station is hiding in the mind-blowing... It's hiding in the... Oh, so there's a picture of the sun, I guess, with the solar storms and stuff. Cause freak events on Earth, deterring minds to crash... Wait, what? What the fudge? I guess they took pictures of passing how the International Space Station passes by the sun with the telescopes on Earth or whatever, the sun, and the International Space Station was passing by, and they're asking if you can spot it. Well, fuck yeah, I can see it. Damn, it's cold in my house. So that's a pretty cool picture. Oh, damn. Which hot dog brand is the best? Fucking cons. There's a $6 million Las Vegas bunker, so any of you people with a lot of money that I know, go ahead and buy that sucker. It's 26 feet underground, and it's decorated like... What? What's it decorated like? The 1970s. And owned by a foundation that wants to freeze humans for science. Oh, fuck. Are you kidding me? Then why are they trying to sell it if they're trying to freeze... It's $5.9 million. Built in 1978, the bunker is outfitted in furniture and decor to match the original time period. Lighting changes to reflect the time of day, and the outdoors are included. Outdoor area include... Oh, okay. And the outdoor area includes a pool. Okay. Well then, I'll pass on that bullshit. Okay, so the up part looks like a normal property, but then it's underground, and yeah, okay. That is fucked up. But I'm sure somebody with a lot of money and nothing fucking better to do will buy it. I think that's all I got. Ooh, 8 ice cream brands that use the highest quality ingredients. We're gonna have to talk about that next week. We just don't have time tonight, because it's 10:16. And let's see. I think that's all I got. Apart from next week, we got the coronation. So it should be pretty cool. And what in the hell? Out of the Jerusalem Post, the WHO experts to weigh whether the world is ready to end the COVID emergency. What the fuck? New strain of COVID may cause pink eye. Health officials warn irritating COVID symptoms may be back. The fast-spreading new COVID-19 subvariant XBB is part of a new class of Omicron. Oh, fudge, where'd it go? Where's the rest of it? Are they going to tell me? Oh, man, I clicked on it. Now I don't have it. Oh, what a dork. Oh, shoot. That makes me sad, because I wanted to see how many freaking 10 million... Dang it, that just cheeses me off. That stinks. Well, now I'm going to have to find it. And then there was something I missed about, oh, crap. The Idaho killer. So there's all kinds of madness about that too. So I'm going to have to look into that next week too. Prominent wait. I don't know. So Tucker Carlson's replacement theory poisonous to the church. I don't know anymore. It's crazy. I will strongly support him. Who's this dude? And what is he doing? Oh. Leave Trump where, or leave DeSantis where he's at. I need him to stay where he's at, because I don't really like it. I am going to sign off because it is that time of the night. So, you guys have a great week. We'll talk next week. Hopefully more Epstein Island crap, because you know, after all, that is my thing. I will see you later.